In this tutorial, we're going to cover how to create cut sheets, and this will be for door and hardware schedules. And you can also do it for estimates and sales orders, even though it's probably not used a whole lot. So primarily, the process will be pretty much the same for either one. But mainly, you're going to be using that for door and hardware schedules. So the first thing you need to do is open up a schedule you want the cut sheets for. And one thing I want to point out is when you create these cut sheets, they are revision specific. So if you have, for example, here's one that has, looks like 5 different revisions. Because each one of those revisions may have had products removed and or added, who knows. So the cut sheets that are created are going to be just the products that are in this revised schedule here. So down here, you notice this is where you print your schedules. You have 3 options. So you can do cut sheets all, cut sheets door frame, cut sheets hardware. So you have an option of one of those 3 that you can do, or all 3. You can create all 3 of them if you like. And you see these fields are empty because I haven't created any files. If I were to try to check one of these, it's going to tell me that the cut sheet file has not been created, and to go back to the create cut sheets before trying to print. So we'll say OK. And you create the cut sheets right here, this create cut sheets button. So once we create our cut sheets and then check the one we want, when we click print schedules, it'll print door and hardware if they're both checked, and the cut sheet, whichever one we have checked. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and do create cut sheets. And that opens up the cut sheet form. Again, up here you have the 3 different options. You have all, doors and frames, or just hardware. And of course nothing's been created yet. Here it defaults to the job name, Circle K. So we'll do get cut sheets. And you can see that loads up all of the cut sheets that are currently in this door and hardware schedule. Doors, frames, and hardware, because that's what we have selected up here. If I only wanted hardware, then I would select that button to get cut sheets, and it'll create a file of just the hardware items. In the same way with doors and frames. There we see just all we have is doors and frames. So we're going to leave that to all. And you notice that I have a couple items here that are not selected. That means if you scroll over to the right, it says missing. The PDF file for those items are missing. One thing you can do is if it's an item that's not part of Toad, or if it is part of Toad, it should still work. That's a Curry's door. If I look at the one above it that is checked, it's the same series, 607S. That's a 607S. So apparently this door must have been added without going through Curry's. Not Curry's, without going through Toad. So there was no cut sheet ever added. Well, what I can do is if I double click this, actually I take that back. This really will not work with Toad if it is a Toad item, because I'm going to show you what you could do if it was not part of Toad. We'll double click it. And you can see it opens up here. And what I can do is I can take my left mouse button and highlight everything there. Now this is from Toad. If this was a path to a cut sheet that I created, then that would be the path that would be showing. I can do Control C. Now I come down here to the one that is not selected, double click it, click in that box, and then I'll do Control V, or right click and do paste, either one. Now I can click Add File, and that'll add that to that file as the PDF file to use. Now, since this is part of Toad, you have another problem though, that it might not, well, I take it back. It will create that file because this is actually the same PDF file that's going to be used for any one of these upper doors here. So that being the case, when it creates your PDF file, it's not creating a cut sheet for each door. It's creating a specific cut sheet for each series of door. So for all these doors, there's only going to be one cut sheet. So I could leave that blank if I wanted, if I know I already have a cut sheet that's going to be printed. In the same way for this 707 door here, which could be the same as the 707S, which does have a cut sheet. So I'm not going to worry about those. Now, if there was a product like up here, this Algoma, that is not part of Toad, then I could copy and paste. For example, I'll do this one here. I could copy, and let's say this one was not checked, it did not have a PDF file. I can just do Control V and paste that in there, and then click Add File. And what that will do is add that file to this list as the cut sheet to use, and will also update your database. So that product, when it's where it's in the database, it's going to add that to the file. So the next time this door is used, it will have a PDF file associated with it. Now again, the other option is go to Add Edit Products and create your own, and add it to Add Edit Products. Now for products that are not part of Toad, when you're creating cut sheets for those items, what you want to do is store those in a central location. For example, if you have a server in your place of business that is always on, that you can map a drive to, that everyone has access to, you can create your own PDF files for a product and then save that. We're going to open up Add Edit Products real quick. And let's pick try to think of somebody that's not part of Toad that might be in here. Maybe this guy. Okay, here's a product. Yeah, so you can see the Adobe Cuts, that's empty. You can create your own PDF file for this product by going to this manufacturer's website, downloading whatever files you need, and saving it to a PDF file. And then once you've saved it, once you've saved that file, for example here, we have a drive E with a folder called Cut Sheet. And in here I can create different folders for different manufacturers and then store their cut sheets in there if they're, like I said, if they're not part of Toad. And what I would be doing is taking this path here, let's do Control C, and I would paste that in here. So that's going to be the location of this cut sheet for this product. Now that does not match. I'm sorry, that's not what we need. What we want to do is here we want the file here. If this was the file, the PDF cut sheet for that product, do copy as path, and then do Control V. So there's the location of the cut sheet. And one thing I need to do is take out those quotes. And that's the path to the cut sheet that will be used for this product. Now all I have to do is save it, and that'll be there whenever I need it. Now again, these cut sheets that you're creating for any products that are not part of Toad, make sure it's on a PC that everyone has access to. You don't want to do that on your PC and then you go on vacation and somebody else in your office decides they want to use that product and your computer is shut down and it's password protected and nobody can start it up, so they can't get to that file. So this folder should always be created on a shared drive that everyone has access to, that's on all the time. So keep that in mind when you're creating your cut sheets. Okay, getting back over to our cut sheet form. So once we have everything the way we want it, we have all our necessary cut sheets selected. Next thing we need to do is click on Create File, and this will be the file name it's going to use, Circle K-Cut Sheets. So if you want something different, type it in here before you create the file, and that's the file name it will use. So we already have one in there. I'm going to say, you want to open an existing file? I'm going to say no. Typically it would just go ahead and create it. And it says, do you want to delete the existing and create a new one? I'll say yes. So you can create new files for whatever reason. Maybe products changed or something. And then once that happens, it opens up the cut sheet file for you. And now you can scroll through, and these are all the different products. And again, they are in alphabetical order for the most part. So that's the file that was created. And again, I can do the same thing for just doors and frames. If I check this button, get cut sheets, now all I have is doors and frames. And we'll do create file. Looks like I've already got one for each one. We want to go ahead and do this. Yes. So now the cut sheets are just doors and frames only. And then we can do hardware. We'll click on Create File. Oh. I forgot to get cut sheets. Here we go. Now we have all the hardware. Now I know this is a mistake. It's using doors and frames, so I'm going to go ahead and create a file. And you can see this one is just hardware only. Okay, so now we can close this now that we've created all the files that we need. Also up here, if you were to open this up, let's go ahead and close it. When I come back in to create cut sheets, it tells me I've already created them up here, so I can open them if I'd like to just take a look at it. Click on Open File, and then we can scroll through or whatever. Now another thing you can do is let's go get cut sheets again. If there's a cut sheet you want to take a look at, just double click it. Any item, when it opens up here, click View File. And it will open a cut sheet just for that particular product if you want to review it for some reason. Okay, so close this. Alright, so now I know I've created the schedules. They're not showing up here yet because I'll have to select one of these boxes. So if I want to cut sheets for all, I'll select that. You can see it loads them all of them that were created. And I can only print one at a time. So you can see it will not let me select multiple items. So once I have the one selected that I want to print, just click Print Schedules, and it'll print each one of these 3 files out for you to your printer. Another thing you can do is if you want to export these, you can click Export. Now these have already been created, so it's not going to export those, but it will export the door and hardware schedule to a PDF file for you and save it to your hard drive. Okay, so once you've exported those, you'll find them in the folder that it created. Typically here, this was, double click it, you'll see the door schedule and then the hardware schedule. Just ignore this file here. In fact, if you can, if it'll delete, you can delete it, get rid of it. For some reason, programmatically, we cannot get rid of that file for some reason. But the two you're just concerned with are the door schedule and the hardware schedule. Now, these are in separate files, and of course, your cut sheets are also in a separate file. So if you wanted to combine these all into one file, what you can do is use a third-party program. The one I'm going to show you is a program called ABBYY, A-B-B-Y-Y. And it's the program, if you saw the tutorial, that we use to import door schedules and hardware schedules from PDF set of plans and also a spec book into a door schedule form here. So we can also use that program to combine these files. You can use it to take pages out, and you can also use it to add additional pages in. However, there's quite a few things you can do with it. So let's say we want to create one file. So what I'm going to do is I can open up, I'm going to show you using ABBYY, but any third-party program will work. So we'll come into ABBYY. What we want to do is open up a PDF document. And here it opens up to that file. I'm just going to select the first one, the door schedule. And you can see these are all the pages for the door schedule. Now I want to add the hardware schedule to it. I'll go up to Edit, Add Pages, Add from PDF. Most any other program is probably going to work about the same way. So now what we want to do is want it to come back with the same schedule right here. We want the hardware schedule, so I'll double click that. And you can see it added the hardware schedule at the end. So there's all the pages. So we have the door schedule and the hardware schedule in one file. And if I wanted, I could also come back in and do Add Pages from PDF. And this time go to a Portapro cut sheets. And now I have all the cut sheets added too. So now I have one file. I can go to File and Save, Save As, give it a name, save it as a PDF document. Save it wherever you feel like you want to save it. And you'll have one big file for everything. So I'm going to say no to that. So real quick, what we'll do is go over a, say a sales order. Estimate will work the same way. And estimates, as you know, are revision specific, so the same thing applies to that. If we come under product information, you can see here's the same process, create cut sheets. And that'll be cut sheets for this sales order. So everything will work the same. You can open the file if there's one that's already been created. Click that and it'll open the file up for you. So that pretty well covers it on creating cut sheets. If you have any questions or concerns on this, please call or email. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Thanks.